Alright, what's good yet after Gear Raid 1, Gear Dungeon 1, Gear Raid 2, Gear Dungeon 2, and the whole extra range explanation in regards to Gear Raid 1? People are now obviously asking, where is Guild Boss? Shouldn't she, if you place her at the very top tile, right here, shouldn't she apply 10 poison stacks permanently to the boss? And shouldn't that make her really good? Let's find out. Let's crush our hopes and dreams together. So let's have a quick look at the team. Now, reason number one that we aren't using a cultist lord, because if we put in a cultist lord, there's really no one else that can go with the cultist lord to be placed on the ground, for example. So we would need to use a ground unit without a lord, as well as the fact that if we had a ground unit, and that, so if we have the cultist lord, if we have Volker, cultist lord, and Lunaria in, that means Volker needs to permanently stay on the field. So no good. Which means we're going with the Twinfian, Zillitu, Lunaria, Silas, Hex, and Dahlia team. For gear, one thing to keep in mind, this Zillitu is A3 because I don't have a second Zillitu on this account for whatever reason. Guess I gotta do some more summons and try to find one. So, Twinfian gear. Just, we'll go through it really quick. Standard Infernal Roar, high attack speeds, rather decent crit damage, high attack. Artifact is a Tear of Twilight at 25. Zillitu, really good Infernal Roar set, high attack speed, decent enough attack for Guild Boss, so over 12,000 total. And then 197 crit rate, crit damage, absolutely amazing. Artifact wise, we'll just go with her Blaze of Takeover to make up for the fact that she's A3. So don't expect too crazy numbers from her. Volker simply is just going to be a bit of Rage Regen. Invigoration set, she doesn't even need a second side piece. Laurel, as simple as that, Invigoration set. Hollow, Invigoration set, 140% Rage Regen. Artifact wise, even an Euphoric Orb on top. Lunaria, you might have already been able to guess it, Invigoration set. Silas, 94.5% crit rate, the only blemish on this build, 337 attack speed, absolutely amazing. Around 200% attack and 232% crit damage. The reason for the low attack is that in Ultimate, Silas ignores all defense and magic resistance. Hex, here we go. Decent build, 225 attack speed could be a bit higher. Attack is rather nice at around 240-250%. Perfect crit rate at above 100%, and then 221 crit damage. Overall, not a bad build. Spirit Siphon, same goes for Silas. Dolores, high attack, 51% rage regen. Rest is finished. Golden Scarab for some extra rage regen, but honestly, absolutely not needed and won't make a difference. And to show how much of a difference it will make, we'll just swap it out for a Keen Wisdom. Go on. There we go. And now Dahlia, the build you've all been waiting for. Because we're dealing with Guild Boss, we have over 12,000 attack, we have a 25 Tear of Twilight, and we have the strongest Sovereign Arcana set you can make. Unless you want to go, for example, a few subsets here. But in general, what we're dealing with is a weapon that doesn't have crit rate, so we get full 100% crit rate from 4 pieces. As well as beautiful 230% crit damage. We've already talked about this. It's time to crush our hopes and dreams, you and me both. Guild Boss, here we go. So, the funny part is going to be the numbers are going to look high, and toward the end we'll find out how much of that is actually going to be Dahlia. Okay, so Silas in Invic buff, Hex in Invic buff, Dahlia in Invic buff, Dolores in, Zillitu in, you guessed it, Invic buff, and Twinfian. Perfect. So here we go, Hex early. Zillitu still needs to wait a bit. We'll be waiting for around 75% ultimate gauge, because at that time we'll be able to trigger Dolores ultimate before Twin Fiend ultimates end. Twin Fiend's ultimate ends. What the hell? There we go. Time to remove Laurel. So far, obviously damage looks good, but it's kind of like a hide and seek. Can you guess Dahlia's damage while everyone is doing really good damage? we can go to 2x speed just to cross your hopes and dreams a bit faster. I mean, we all kind of by this point know the rotation. And if you're wondering, yes, you can absolutely just copy that and put a Satcham for Dahlia or any other ranged unit if you have one of those. There was a little mistake on my end with Zillitu. We should have actually waited there until her ultimate is triggered, so we could have went double ultimate with Twin Fiend here. But it's honestly not that crucial. The important part is she's not the main focus of this showcase. So, but we will still properly go through, see how it goes. Obviously, no need to make people worse than they are. And here we should be fine, even though we won't quite get the Dolores buff, but it's not actually all that bad. So, right here, Volker should be able to get her ultimate off right before Laura is ready. We can take her out, put her in, Silas is triggered, which means she goes. Take her out, let's see if we can break the shield. So the interesting part is you can see we have 10 poison stacks stacked. So she is able to keep up 10 poison stacks all by herself. Though the problem with poison stacks is, as you can see, it stacks up to 50, which is pretty much twice of what a burn does. For the fact that this seems to be a key part of her damage mechanic, only being twice of a burn might not be enough. So is the solution to Dahlia buffing poison in general? Turning it from a 5% to a 10% buff? Is that something we're looking for? I don't know. And also the important part is we shouldn't be going all that hard at Moonton, because at the end of the day, balancing is hard. If you try to make someone work in one area, you might create a catastrophe in another one. And as soon as you then release that buff, nerf, whatever you want to call it, you'll have the real problem, because then people, for example, let's say they buff her to be better in Gear Dungeon 1. What if she becomes a monster in Guild Boss, maybe a destroyer in Arena, and then we have another Boreas scenario on the hands? I don't think we actually are looking for another Boreas scenario, are we? But also, at the end of the day, we're just players, huh? Are we getting wiped here? Okay. Guess we're ending it early. I mean, 30k damage at a minute should be already enough of a tell. If you want to, go into the comments now, post how much damage you expect her to do, and then see how close you were. So, yeah, okay. She does as much damage as a Twin Fiend outside of Dolores range. Now, I don't know if that answers your questions. It definitely answers mine. Guild Boss isn't her place to shine. Alright, we see each other in the next one. Video number 3 related to Dahlia today. Peace out.